Hello, good morning, Facebook family and friends. Well, another week that we bring you great content with great speakers that will speak into your life. This is Dr. James and Lady Owens presenting you another week with great coaches that are part of Dare to Dream. These men come from all walks of life, are professionals in their fields, and you will hear from them again today as you do every week. And you can see these men in person. These men, Command Sergeant Major Jock, Pastor Frank Starks, Dr. Gross, and we have none other than Coach Ron Osborne will be speaking to you live and in person June 17th and 18th next week at the Life Church in Riverside, California. We're excited about what's going to happen. This is our first major event this year. You don't want to miss it. We're going to give you a little snippet of what we'll be discussing and what these men will be bringing you next Thursday and Friday. If you have not purchased your tickets, you want to purchase them today, right away. The place is filling up. We are excited. We will have special guests. Bernadette Stainis, the actress Thelma from Good Times, will be joining us. You will have a great time of networking. You know, the power of networking is so powerful. You know, I say that oftentimes things are caught and not taught. And when you're in the atmosphere, God always places someone there before you. So when you come there, you're going to connect with people, business people, professional people that will help take your life to the next level. But you've got to be there. So we look forward to seeing you there. Go to Eventbrite, Refuel Coaching Conference, Dare to Dream, and purchase your tickets today. Well, gentlemen, another exciting week. Today is Wednesday, June 9th. How fast time goes by when you are having fun and when you are pursuing your passions and pursuing your dreams. We're going to kick this thing off real hard today, talking about some of the topics that we'll be discussing during our conference. We want to give the people a snippet of some of the things that they will be learning on that day. And we're excited about the topics. All of our topics are different. All of our topics are unique, but nonetheless, they are topics that can transform anybody's life, that will put these disciplines into practice. And I want to say this, that Dare to Dream is a biblically based, spirit-filled coaching company that is inspired by God. And we know that anytime God is involved in anything, you can't help but win because God is in the mix. So with that being said, we're going to get this party started. I see Coach Ron is sporting that beautiful bow tie this morning, and we always know that Coach Ron brings it every week. So Coach Ron, we're going to start off with you, my friend. We know that you have your topic, and we don't want to give them everything, but let's just give them a snippet of some of the things that you are going to talk about next week.
D2D. I want to make sure that you guys hear me. Can everybody hear me good? Great. I hope you can. Frank, handle that for me, sir. Blessings. Guys, so excited to be with you today. Along with the D2D team, we are going to have an absolutely phenomenal time together. You'll be seeing that come up on the post, but I want to get with you and talk to you about something that I think is like crucial. Sometimes when you've got problems in your life, or when people, let's make it general. Sometimes when people have problems in their life, they think that they need a psychologist. Okay, what they're saying is, I need an expert in my life, and there are places for every last one of the disciplines. Do not get me confused with that. Don't misunderstand. But when is it that you need a coach? Okay, that's the question that I want to pose to you today, and then to help you understand a little bit more about what we as coaches do, I want to bring that to you. You need a coach when you're saying to yourself, I'm in a place that I want to be. This is one scenario. I'm in a place that I want to be. I truly enjoy my job. I enjoy my business, but I am not maximizing myself. I'm not getting the most out of who I could become. I feel it. I can't put my finger on it. Or every time I try and become successful at this or that, be it weight loss, relationships, a plethora of things, anytime that I try that, I keep failing. I keep going back to what I used to do, and I don't know why. There's a limiting conversation there. See, what we as coaches do is we help you get very clear about what's so and what's not so in your life. But understand this. Unlike professionals, if you will, like a psychologist is a professional. Okay, they're the expert, if you will. In coaching, if you haven't heard me say this before, we are not the experts. We are the ones that come alongside you. We take the ride with you, as my brother Frank would say. But we are not the experts in your life. Let's get very clear. You've been with yourself longer than we have. But what we are experts in is helping you get clear, understanding the language that you're speaking, watching your body language. It is said that just in the conversation of two people, you've got about 45 different 15 different conversations going on. Okay, that's if you got more people. If you got some other issues, you might have 45 conversations going on. But I digress. So let me just cover just a piece of something for you to look at while you're making a decision. You know, Coach Ron, I just don't know if I want to. Yeah, you want to be there. Do you hear me? You want to be there. Let me tell you why. There is a company that we will always be talking about, all of us. It is the most important company that you work for. It's the most important company that you work with. It's called the company of you, the company of yourself. See, you're a business in and of yourself. How you run your life, your faith, your fitness, your finance, your future, your family, your friends, if you will. In all of those areas, you are running it. You're the CEO. You could be the chief energy officer, which is crucial, or you can be the chief excuse officer. The choice is yours. Coaches help you determine if you're being the energy officer, if you're making things happen in your life or not. If you're the excuse officer, well, I can't do this because, man, I've got so many the kids, it's the kids, Coach Ron. That's what it is. No, it's my husband that's getting on my last one, it's my wife. If she spends any more money, I don't even know what I'm going to do with me right now. I'm just out of control. So that's when you're making 1,000 excuses about what's not working in your life. Okay? So one of the things that I get to cover and I get to have the privilege of is sharing with you about the value of you and how to work with you incorporated. So I'm excited to be with you on that day. This is just a piece of what we're going to be talking about. If you guys want me to come back in and tell them some more, I'm more than happy to. But let me I'm a book person, guys. I eat books. Do you understand? I love it. It is said that when you read a book, you inherit the mind of the author. And I can't really tell you the author because I'm in chapter 6 for the last 3 days. This book is ridiculous. It's called The Illusion of Money. And if you get with me, you can simply contact me on Rhinoceros or Ron OCEROS, RAHNOCEROS @gmail.com. You can get in touch with me at KCWG The Truth, the best internet radio on the planet. But I will give you the author's name. And once again, the title is The Illusion of Money. Guys, all my clients, they get books from me. But that's what's important. I want you to have a new mindset. We at D2D are created and committed to seeing you become that highest and best version of yourself. And one of the ways that I intend to contribute to that best version is to help you get very clear about who you are and what you want to create for your life. Guys, thank you so much, Dr. Owens. I appreciate you. I got more if you need it. Talk to you guys later. 2 fingers.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And it really moved me, Coach Ron, because I just want to say Coach Ron has been in the coaching business for over a decade. He brings so much wisdom, so much intellectual knowledge to coaching. And the fact that he helps you to define you, to get into you, to know you better. This is what he brings to the table. And that's only a small snippet of what you're going to get on next week on the 17th and the 18th. And also being able to work with Coach Ron on a personal level. Who would not want to work with a gentleman that reads all the time? He's educated himself over a decade of being a coach and has helped hundreds, if not thousands of people to become the best version of themselves. Now, the next gentleman I want to introduce you to is Command Sergeant Major, retired Command Sergeant Major Jock, who has been serving the military for nearly 40 years. This gentleman has had so many years of experience in the military, so many years even on the civilian side where he has led the security department over a massive transit organization, one of the largest in the nation. He brings so much wisdom on leadership. He will be speaking to us during the conference. He's one of the coaches with Dare to Dream, and he can help you personally and not only personally, but he will be there next week. You don't want to miss him. And he's going to be talking about the importance of setting goals. And we know how important it is to set goals with your life. So, Sergeant Major, please take it away and give the people a little bit of what you're going to be discussing during the conference.
Well, good morning. The topic that I really want to discuss is setting achievable goals. And what is a goal? What is a vision, and how do we attain that vision? How do we make that vision come to reality, fruition? There are many distractors and barriers that exist in not only our lives but in our environment, the things around us, the people around us. And that's why it's very important to understand you have to develop a system for success. How do you overcome barriers, obstacles, distractors, those negative influences that impact your life? How do you set the right priorities? And what's most important in order for you to achieve success in your goal? Now, success might be measured in terms of your financial success, your spiritual success, success in the relationships that you have. How do you better interface with other people? There are times when we tend to not look at ourselves in the mirror and figure out who we're looking at. That's why it's very important to understand the individual strengths and weaknesses in order to identify, okay, whatever shortcomings and deficiencies that I may have, how do I overcome those? What is the best course of action for me to identify? Once I've identified that shortcoming or deficiency, how do I go about the process of either eliminating that distractor, or how do I better improve whatever situation that I'm in? We might be doing fine, but there's always room for improvement. So one of the things that we want to talk about is how do we set specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely goals. SMART, that acronym SMART that a lot of people I'm pretty sure have heard before, but really getting to the meat and potatoes of how do we go about that process, okay, and developing a system for success. This is the real key element on the part of that discussion that I'd like to share with you. Just like what Coach Ron was saying, coaching is not trying to tell you how to do it. It's riding shotgun with you and looking at giving you a different perspective on something that you may not see, and allowing you the opportunity to say, yeah, well, you know what? I really didn't realize that, okay, that I was doing it this way. Because, there's many ways to achieve a goal. But if you have a specific plan and a course of action and how you want to get there, it puts you in a much better position for success. Otherwise, there are times when you should have took that right and you end up taking that left. All right. So it's, coaches sometimes provide you with a different perspective in order to achieve an outcome. Okay. And obviously we want a positive outcome and not a negative outcome, because decision making, and that's another key element in setting goals, it's making good decisions. Okay. We call it critical thinking. In order to make good decisions, you have to analyze strengths and weaknesses, and then you have to also calculate risk, because most of the things that we do are going to involve some level of risk. You have to be willing to assess how much risk are you willing to take. Now, some things could be measured in terms of physical risk, financial risk, okay? Risk in terms of, is this going to cause a problem in relationships? Because sometimes we don't always agree, and sometimes we agree to disagree. But the point is that we all want to reach a certain end state. And that's why it's also important to understand you have to be willing to risk giving of yourself, okay? Going well beyond what you think your capabilities are. Once you've identified your capabilities, now you have to strive to go to the next level. And that's really what we want to bring, Dare to Dream wants to bring into this particular fold. We want to bring a different perspective, allow you to look at things from the vantage point of others, because that's what coaches are doing. We're looking at a particular situation, and we're providing feedback and advice on a better course of action. Doesn't mean that it's always going to be the best course of action, but a better course of action. Because at the end of the day, regardless of whatever happens, you, the individual, has to own it. Okay? Regardless of what anybody else tells you or does, you at the end of the day have to own it. It's just like that old saying, you can delegate authority, but you can't delegate responsibility. So you are the person that ultimately is responsible for the decisions that you make. Okay? So part of the things that we do and our feedback is going to provide you a better course of action to analyze, to look at, okay, to consider. And once you put all that together, then you can make good decisions on the right course of action. And that's part of what coaching and what Dare to Dream provides as a coaching element towards your success. Okay. And you know, coming up with a broad ideal is great, but we want to channel that down to being more specific in intent. What is it that we want to actually achieve? What is our start X and what is going to be our index? Okay. So those are the things. And then how do we go about measuring that? How do we go about, you know, capturing those benchmarks towards our success? Okay. And are they realistic? Are they attainable? Is it something beyond the scope of my capabilities? Does it require me to have outside help? Because sometimes you're going to need to collaborate with others in order to get to where you want to go. Okay. You don't live on an island. There's other people that may be involved. And then is it a realistic goal? Is it something that at the end of the day is going to provide me a better outcome? Okay. And then obviously I have to set benchmarks in terms of time. How much time am I willing to invest? Because it is an investment on self. Okay. That may impact others, but you're making an investment on yourself. Okay. So what Dare to Dream is providing you is a vehicle to help you drive towards that goal, that end state that we're talking about. So Dr. Owens, that's pretty much where we're going. And I'll expand on that when we have our get together. I look forward to it. And like I said, I'm in the fight. As we say in the military, you got to stay in the fight.
Awesome. Well, I tell you what, Sergeant Major Jock is an awesome leader. Was one of my mentors for several years while he was serving. And I tell you what, you're learning from the best. When I tell you the best of the best, this gentleman serves 15 years as a command sergeant major. That's huge. And you'll be hearing from him in person. You don't want to miss his teaching. You don't want to miss his training. And you can also be mentored by this man that is now retired with this wealth of knowledge and experience when it comes to leadership. Now, the next gentleman I have for you is none other than Pastor Frank Starks, who's a very good friend of mine who has impacted the Corona, California, Riverside, California, period. He has been in the trenches, even in the inner cities of California, by way of, I believe it is South Central, pastored for many years, has a great ministry, him and his wife, over 30 years of experience in marriages, sharing with marriages, helping thousands of marriages, and he's been doing it for many years. And he's going to be speaking on communication, how important it is to communicate effectively. And so many marriages fail because they don't understand the art of communication. And so you'll be hearing from Pastor Starks next week. He's going to give you some powerful information. And we just want to hear a little bit, Pastor Starks, of what you'll be sharing during the conference.
Well, thank you, Bishop, and to Command Sergeant Major Jock, and to Ron Osborne, and our friend that's not with us today, Dr. Kevin Gross. Wow, what an exciting time we're looking to have. Hey, I'm coming all the way from East Texas. Man, I got my bags packed. I'll be on American Airlines sitting back, got my earplugs ready, because I want to communicate. I want to talk about effective communication. And so that's so exciting. What is effective communication? It is the process of exchanging ideas, thoughts, knowledge, information, such through the purpose of intentionally fulfilling the best purpose that you have. Effective ideas. One of the things that I've learned, Dr. Owens, is that there are 4 ways to communicate, that we all communicate. Everybody communicates this way. There's verbal, there's nonverbal, there's written, and there's visual. But do we know that 65% of communication is nonverbal? 65% of communication is nonverbal. It's your facial expressions. It's your hand movement. Okay? How many of us know if you were watching somebody and they did this to you? You know what I'm saying? That's nonverbal. Everybody know what that meant. Everybody knew what that meant. You know what? I believe in the 1968 Olympics, I believe John Carlos and another gentleman, I cannot, but they stood on the platform after they won their gold medals. They stood on the platform and they raised their fist. They communicated something that changed their lives. So in communication, most of it is nonverbal. How is your face expression? Are you looking at me? Or are you paying attention? Or you got the remote in your hand? You got the phone in your hand? Or how are you communicating with me? And so when we communicate with somebody, is not what I'm saying, it's what I'm doing when I say it. Oh man, that's good, man. That's good. When I talk to my wife, she tells me, she says, listen to me with your eyes. That means pay attention to me as you talk. Don't look at the basketball game. Don't look at the Nets or the Brooklyn basketball team. Look at me. And then what is the tone of your voice? What is your tone? Have you ever noticed that many foreigners that come to our country, we think that they when they talk like they got sometimes an attitude. They're sharing stuff, but that's how they talk. That's how they communicate. Now, I've been married a long time. My wife and I, we can communicate with each other across the room just by looking at each other. I don't even have to say a word. Bishop, I'm pretty sure you've been married long enough. You know what I'm saying? I know sometimes when my wife is ready to go, she looks at me across the room. She ain't even got to say a word. But how do we communicate? How do we talk to one another? And I think one of the biggest things is that when we talk to one another, we don't really talk. We talk at you. I don't talk to you. Man, I talk at you. I tell you what I want you to do. And then when I tell you what I want to do, then it's up to you to respond. And most people say, take the trash out. The way you said it. No, I ain't taking nothing out. You take it out. Then you got an argument. So once again, we're going to talk about effective. How can I effectively talk to people? Man, I major in this. I major in talking to people because I really enjoy my relationships. Okay. Then this thing we're talking about is verbal. Be careful what you say. Be careful what you say. Just tell you a little story. I'm always good for little stories. Can I tell you a little story, Doctor? Okay. There's a story of a man who said some wrong things to his sister. And then after he said it, His sister fell out, and they fell out. And so they were living in a monarchy. So the man went to the king and told the king, he said, I did this. I messed up my family. My sister don't want to talk to me. How can I fix this? The king says, I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to go and I want you to bring me a bucket of feathers. And the man went and he got a bucket of feathers. Okay. And then he came back to the king, and the king says, I got a bucket of feathers. And then what the king did, he took that bucket of feathers, walked over to the balcony, and he threw the feathers off. And then he said, go down and pick them up. The man went and picked up the feathers. He only got a little bit of the feathers in the bucket. And he asked the king, why was that? What was that exercise for? He said, be careful what you say, because once you said it, you can never get it back. How many of us said stuff? How many wars were created because I said something and now I'm sorry? So we're going to talk about effective communication. I'm big in written, and I'm big in visual, and you got to come I'm telling you, you got to come to this conference, man. I'm telling you, hey, you know what? I'm like Cal Worthington. You can pull it. You can take a sailboat, come in a canoe. You can parachute in. You can start walking now and get there. I'm telling you, you do not want to miss this. I mean, when you got Ron Osborne, you got Dr. Kevin Gross, you got Command Sergeant Major Jock. Oh my God. And then I'm knocking it off on Friday. I'm telling you, I'm opening up on Friday. My God. And then we got Miss Bernice Stanley, my girlfriend. Man, I was in love with this woman. My God. I can't say that too loud. My wife's in here, But listen, and then the one and only Dr. James Owens going to come. You got to be there. Bishop, I'm going to spill the beans. I can't say too much. You better take it away for me.
Oh boy, that was awesome, Pastor Starks. That was awesome. I want to let you all know that Pastor Starks is a friend to know. You want to come and be a friend and meet Pastor Starks. He is like the brother you never had. So you want to come and meet Pastor Starks. What a powerful message. What a powerful, inspirational message on communication and how we communicate. I was going through some professional training, and he is so correct. A large percentage of our communication is by our expressions. And so it's important that we understand that communication does not just come out of the mouth. It comes out in our actions and how we express our facial expressions and with our hands and all of that. And so, listen, this is going to be a powerful meeting. It's the kickoff for Dare to Dream Leadership Consulting Firm. And we are here to stay because we know that God has opened up us a space of time in the history of while we're here on this planet, to share our gifts and our talents to help you to become the best version of yourselves. And some of you have been watching and you've been asking God, send me something that I can go to, send me some people that I can connect with to help me live a better life. And you're watching today, and this is your answer to prayer. I want to let you know that God will send you what you ask for. And we're looking for people that are looking for us. Now I want to share with you a little bit about what I'll be discussing. And I'll be discussing the power of potential. Each one of you have potential. Each one of us was born with potential. I want to read the definition of potential. Potential is having or showing the capacity to become or develop into something in the future. I want to read it one more time for you. Having or showing the capacity to become or develop into something in the future. You have potential because you were born with gifts that God gave you. You were born with them. Now, all you have to do is find out what they are, develop those gifts, and you know what the Bible declares? It says your gifts would make room for you and bring you before great men. Now, some of us, we get confused with gifts and education, gifts, and we get you confused with gifts and your career. No, gifts are something that you were born with. God gave them to you, and he gave you more than one. Now, if you perfect those gifts, you perfect those talents that God gave you, this is where he says, I give you power to get wealth. I'm going to say that again. I'll give you power, he says, to get wealth. And how do you get that wealth? You get that wealth through the gifts that he gave you, not through your intellect, not through your education. Now you can become more proficient and efficient as you are educated within your calling and your gift. And this just makes you more lethal, more dangerous. But you first got to know your gifts. Now, someone shared with me, and it really stuck with me. They said, a golf club in my hand is really worth nothing, but a golf club in the hands of Tiger Woods is worth millions of dollars. A basketball in my hand is worth nothing, but the basketball in the hands of Michael Jordan or LeBron James is worth millions of dollars. Okay, so putting it in perspective, these men have developed their gift, and it's bringing them wealth. How many billionaires, how many millionaires did not finish high school, did not finish college, or dropped out of college? We know them by name. We know them. We know them. Started in their garage. They had a dream and they had gifts, and they worked the dream along with the gifts, and there you go. They were successful. I want to read another definition of the power of potential. It says latent qualities or abilities that may be developed and lead to future success or usefulness. You can develop your potential. We want to help you find your God given potential, not what you think, but what we know. There are tests we can give you that can help you find out what your gifts are. Once you find out what your gifts are, the sky is the limit. You can write your own check. Okay? You can enjoy what you do. How many people go to work and they hate going to work, making six figures, but they hate it. They hate their job. They hate their boss. They hate what they're doing because they're not doing what they love. It is a fact that most people have a heart attack Monday morning because they got to face that job. Nothing wrong with a job if you love what you're doing. But so many people are doing things that they don't even love. They don't even like what they do. They do it because they feel they have to. In life, God has given what we call a choice. He's giving you a choice. So you don't have to stay stuck in stupidity. I'm gonna say that. Stuck in doing something stupid that you really don't want to do. Listen, you can reach levels and heights of success in doing the things that you love to do. And you were born to win. You were born to fulfill your purpose. You were born to fulfill your destiny. And this is what I'm going to share with you about the power of potential. Well, listen, you don't want to miss this event. Come on back in, guys. We want to come on in as a group. The questions that you may have. And listen, we have another special guest that, well, not a special guest, but he's one of the coaches on the team. Dr. Kelvin Gross could not make it today. But listen, we want to give a big shout out to Dr. Gross. Is going to be speaking on, I think, qualities of leadership. And so you're going to get a full smorgasbord of the principles that will help take your life to the next level. Now, gentlemen, we've all given some snippets of what we're going to be talking about. I'd like for you to set up that commercial, Pastor Starks, and we're going to run that commercial. But in the meantime, we're going to begin to go in on some of these topics. We're going to round robin, and we're going to move on. We got about 20 more minutes. But listen, these are some great topics, and I love the topics about communication. And as we're getting ready to hear this commercial, we will continue to dialogue on these topics that we'll be discussing during the conference, June 17th and 18th, 2021. Next week, we're looking forward to have a great conference. You could go on and run the commercial, Pastor Starks. While he's setting that up, we'll just continue to talk. But we're excited. If you have any questions, send us an email. Go to the website, www. Here we go. Here we are. We get the volume on. If we could unmute that, Pastor Starks. Pastor Starks, if we could get the volume.
She'll be here in person, so you don't want to miss this great event.
Yes, guys. On this event, it's going to be exciting. We're going to have awesome speakers. Lunch with special guest speaker. Also, we're going to have continental breakfast. You can't beat that. Come on out. Get your ticket. This has been a rough year for us all. Come out. Be inspired. Hear from these phenomenal speakers from Dare to Dream. Don't miss this conference. We're glad that you came.
You absolutely will. We want you to go to Eventbrite and put in the Dare to Dream and Refuel Coaching Conference, and they will come up, purchase your ticket today. I want to let you know that we have limited seating, so you want to purchase your ticket today. And if you can't be here, you're somewhere in the world, you can join us virtually. So once again, we look to see you there, here, June 17th and 18th. Come and join us. Buy those tickets today.
See you there.
All right, wonderful. So go get those tickets today. DARE2DREAMLive.com. Go to Eventbrite, purchase your tickets, put in Refuel Coaching Conference or Dare to Dream, and get your tickets today. Well, gentlemen, we're going to continue to dialogue. We've got a few more minutes, but I'm just excited. I was really touched and moved by the communication piece with you, Pastor Starks, the importance of communication and how important it is. And when I think about that communication, I think about our nation and what we're going through. A lot of the I guess conflict. You know, you talk about the issues with the policemen. You talk about politics. You talk about these different ideologies, and people don't have the patience to communicate. And you know, if we all learn to communicate more effectively, I think that it would get us away from a lot of the lives that have been lost, the conflicts that we have in our world. I think that even as believers that God has called us, it says, if possible, be at peace with all men. And how do we do that? We do that through effective communication. And I love it the way you bring the peace home, starting with the family, the husband and the wife. And then the children, they're going to feed off of the relationship with the husband and the wife. And then when you think about that, even in the context of the church or any body that is in a leadership position, they watch the relationship that husband has with the wife. If the wife is a leader or the husband is a leader, if that husband and wife doesn't have good communication, you know, that bleeds out to the people that they're leading. The people can feel that vibe. And so, and it's important for leaders especially to understand that it's so important that their husband and wives in leadership positions have a beautiful communication, a beautiful relationship, because that affects the people that they're leading. Now, could you touch on that just a little bit? I know you've been pastoring for many years, and I've been pastoring. You know, we've seen other relationships, but that is a crucial element. Even when you talked about the physical expression, how we express ourselves, and as leaders and as husbands and wives, we not only minister individually, but we minister corporately because people are watching our communication between one another. Could you touch on that just a little bit?
Sure, Bishop. What we find out is that the Bible is the first book that we needed to be able to govern ourselves with. And it tells us, it says, charity starts at home and then sheds abroad. Okay? It doesn't start in the church. Okay? It doesn't start on the job. We should know how to go to a job or go to church because we learned those things at home. At home, we should learn how to sit at a table. At home, we should know how to conduct ourselves. But also at home is where we have communication. Now, there used to be a thing that was up a long time ago. They said they talked about what type of children come out of different homes. If you're a loud talking person, then your kid will talk loud. You know what I'm saying? The different things that you do in your home, it will reflect in your children. Okay, and then we get to the church. Every pastor's church that God has called him to be the under shepherd of, that particular ministry has the DNA of that person. You know, that it has the DNA of that person. So that's why we need to learn how to effectively communicate to one another. Now, just take it in my instance, I have 3 grown children. My baby is in their 30s. But now, since I adopted my 11-year-old son, we adopted him from birth. Okay, so now he's 11. Now, when I was raising my son, hey, it was corporal punishment. I mean, it was just flat out, sit down, shut up. Kids ought to be what? Kids ought to be seen and not heard, okay? My grandma never used to say, quit looking in my mouth. Y'all go outside. It's like, because what they were doing, they were protecting us from adult situations. There was not a lot of children back in my day, that you listen to adult situations because they kept you out of the room. Or when they talk to you in a way. But today with the internet, okay, and devices, our kids are privileged to so much stuff. And so we have to protect our home, even the communication, what comes in our home. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's what we let in. Through TV, through magazines, what I'm saying? The internet has brought it right here. The Bible says this, God told to Cain and Abel, he said, listen, sin lies at the door. Sin lies at your front door. And if you let it in, it will come in, okay, through the TV. That's why they call it television. Somebody gonna tell you they vision. Television, the internet. You're gonna be caught in the net. And so we have to learn how to talk to one another. I'm learning, and this is me, maybe y'all can help me out because I'm not even, instead of really dealing with my son in a corporal punishment way, I'm talking with him on his behavior because he's impulsive. He does stuff, impulsiveness. And I want to communicate with him. I want to get on his level and share with him that there's certain things you cannot do. Okay, there's certain things, and I want to be able to show it. As a black young man, you can't get pulled over by the police and start throwing your hands all over the place like that. We can't do those things. So we have to teach them how to respond to authority, how to respond, to the principals and different things at school. Because if you don't, it reflects on the home. I hope I addressed that, Bishop.
That was really, really good, Pastor Starks, teaching our children how to respond. It's not what's done, but it's how you react. And so we can't be impulsive, especially as black men, our sons, because we know that we don't live in a perfect nation, and we are targets in a lot of ways. So we have to teach our sons how to effectively communicate. Right. And we have to teach them to have self-control. Self-control. When other people are out of control doesn't mean you get out of control.
Right.
Maintain self-control, because a soft answer turns away wrath.
That's right.
So we have to show them that the police may be screaming, but just hold your tone. Don't scream because they're screaming. Hold your tone. And the Bible says a soft answer will turn away wrath. And so and these are things that are taught. You just, our youth don't just grow up knowing these things, because it's natural for anybody to respond to anger. It's a natural response, but we have to practice self-control and not let the opposition control how we respond. We have to respond with a soft answer, with intelligence. We have to use this and not our emotions. And so I want to say this and digress, even to marital relationships, that the Bible says the men ought to deal with their wives according to knowledge. It didn't say emotions, it said deal with them according to knowledge. And so this is important. It's not that you deal because I'm so in love. You're dealing out of your emotions now. No, you have to deal with your mate out of knowledge. And so how do we get the knowledge? We get it out of God's word. And it teaches us how to love our wives, how to cherish them, how to deal with them, because they are made different than us. They're not made like us. neither do they think like us.
That's right.
And so we have to understand they're totally different from us. And so we have to deal with them according to knowledge. And where do we get that knowledge? We get it from God's word. And
Yeah.
so these are powerful concepts that if you know, they can really take you a long way. But if you don't know, then you're responding out of your emotions. And so we have to get out of our emotions and get into instructions. And once we get into instructions, then we know how to respond. But if you don't know, then you're stuck at acting out of what you just don't know. And we know that that can cause a catastrophe.
Yeah.
Sergeant Major, you brought some great things and some great points on goal setting, the importance of goal setting, the importance of having someone to walk with you through the process. That was very important to me. Can you kind of expound on that? I know you've been a man that's been in authority for so many years. Talk about those that are in a followership mode. Those that are following. What are some of the best things that a follower, or someone that is following leadership? What are some of the best advice that you can give someone who is in that role? And as they have set their goals, and let's say we have people that come to Dare to Dream, and they want to become part of the team, they want to grow, they want to reach their goals. What are a few pointers you would give them as they're going through the process of setting their goals? Because I've met a lot of people, they know what they want to do. It's just that they don't have the wherewith, the stamina, the perseverance to stay focused on their goals. And every time I share this concept of what we do, they're excited. They want to get involved. What would you tell them some of the disciplines that they should have as far as setting those goals, reaching those goals, and then working with a coach or mentor, someone such as one of us?
Well, I would tell them emulate those around you that are successful. Meaning, it's just like in the military. I could look at a particular soldier and see if they're what we call squared away by the way they carried themselves, the way they wore their uniform, all the way down to back in the day when we still was wearing black boots. If they had shine boots versus what we used to call Hershey bar, looked like they just, they didn't shine their boots at all. I like spit shine boots. Somebody that took the time to do that, that's the type of people I want to emulate. I want to emulate people that look good, because when they walk in the room, regardless before they open up their mouth, just like what Pastor Starks was talking about, they're sending a message. That's that nonverbal. They've automatically, people have already assessed them. They do the head to toe. They look them up and down. If they look like they're looking good, their posture's well, they're standing very erect, the boots are shine, they're well groomed and all that, it automatically puts them on a positive note, so to speak. If they go up in their uniform all wrinkled up, they need a shave, boots look like they, been trampled in the mud, I'm already drawing an inference on the person that I see. I don't know anything about them, but what I see. So they're sending me a signal. So I want to be around, I emulate those individuals that I perceive to be the ones that take the time to take care of themselves. They seem to be more successful when they open up their mouth. They're very calculated in the way that they deliver. Okay. I go back to, and I'm going to touch back on what Pastor Starks was talking about, communication and relationships. I use the 3 C's. The 3 C's are communicate, collaborate, and cooperate. Okay. Just like in a relationship with your wife, you need to communicate. Okay. You need to collaborate because you're a team, you're a partnership, and you need to cooperate because there's times when you can't always have, this is not Burger King, can't always have it your way. Okay. There's a lot of give and take. So the 3 C's are very important in terms of relationship building, in terms of establishing trust. See, that's another key element in terms of relationships. You have to have mutual trust, and you also have to have mutual respect. Okay, you will lose trust and you will lose respect if you fail to communicate. Okay, if your communication, be it verbal or nonverbal, if you send the wrong message, that communication is going to have a gap. You want to close that gap in the communication chain. Okay, so that's where the collaboration comes in. There's some give and take. There's some things that you're going to want, and I'm going to have to be able to accept those things to a certain extent. And the same thing the other way around. You know, that give and take is we come we collaborate on trying to find the best way for us both to either get along. We both want to reach that same end state. And if you're living in a household with someone, and, you know, my dad used to always tell me, try your best never to go to bed angry with your significant other. Try to go to bed. Don't go to bed, especially if you sleep in the same bed. Try not to go to bed angry. Okay? Whatever your issues are, try to resolve them before you end up going to bed. Because if you go to bed angry, you're going to wake up in the morning angry. You haven't resolved the issue. There's a gap in that communication that I talked about. Okay? So, you know, if we don't collaborate, we can't cooperate. Okay? We're not going to be able to communicate. It all ties into those 3 C's. And what Pastor Starks was talking about is very, very crucial, because everything really starts with the way that we're perceived. And another key element to that, I'll throw it in, is attitude. You have to have the right attitude. If you don't have the right attitude, no matter what you're involved in, you're not going to be successful. So going back to what you initially asked me, you know, I want to emulate people that have the right attitude. I want to emulate people that have the right communication skills. I want to collaborate with people that tend to be a team player. They know how to get along with others. They got people skills. Okay, it's not all about me, myself, and I. People like that, I personally don't do a whole lot with people that are individualist. I like people that like to collaborate with other people. They like to interface. They like to negotiate. They want to sit down and discuss issues and problems and come up with viable resolutions instead of just shutting people down. It's very easy to say, you know what, I'm talk to the hand. Okay, but talking to the hand is not going to resolve an issue. All it's going to do is end up causing more tension. Okay, so, you know, going back to what you said about how do you interface with authority and teaching these young people how to do that properly. Go back to the 3 C's. If we teach them how to interface with authority, de-escalate a situation, just because one individual is hostile doesn't mean I have to get hostile as well. I can still sit back. Now, I put my defensive mode on if I see someone that's very hostile. I've got that defensive barrier. I'm not going to let them get too close to me because I don't know what their intentions are. However, by me escalating, losing my composure, now you got 2 forces that are clashing. Okay? If I can step back and assess what's going on, maintain that certain level of control and distance, then it puts me in a better position to react when that force or whatever comes my way. Okay? And then it gives me an opportunity to also de-escalate a situation by coming up with a rational strategy. We call it verbal judo. You got to understand verbal judo. See, verbal judo it's not physical, it's a mental game. It's how do I use my intellect against their hostility to bring it down a notch. Okay? Some people might say, I know how to psychoanalyze somebody. No, I just say it's verbal judo. Okay? Because on the street, that's what we say. We say verbal judo. I'm not going to put hands on you, but I'm going to use my intellect to bring you down. Bring it down. Not bring you down, but bring this situation down. All right, bro, I understand where you're coming from. Let's see if we can resolve this matter right here without us losing our cool. You good person, I'm a good person. So I use a technique to bring it down. Communication, my body language, my inflection of the voice, my eye contact. All of those things are going to come into play for me to resolve this negative interaction with another person. got to put it off of mute. Take it off of mute.
Powerful, powerful, powerful stuff. I gleaned so much from that. From those last 5 minutes was really amazing. You don't want to miss this. People that are watching, you precious people that join us every week. I want Pastor Starks to run that commercial one more time, and then we're going to prepare to close the meeting today. But you've really gotten a mouthful today. You've gotten a lot of great information. We want you to come out. Don't you dare miss it. Go to Eventbrite and purchase your ticket today. You want to go there and put in Refuel Coaching Conference. You want to go purchase your tickets and listen. Bring your wife, bring your husband, purchase tickets for you and your husband to come out and show up, and God will show out. I often say that if you show up, God will show out. All you have to do is show up and be there, and God will show out. And I want to say this, the power of networking, being able to network. You're going to meet so many other people that will be there that you'll just meet that are going in the same direction that you're going into, and people that can perhaps help you get to where you want to be. You'll be able to touch bases one-on-one with Command Sergeant Major Jock. You'll be able to talk with Pastor Stock, Dr. Kelvin Gross, Coach Ron. You'll be able to talk with them one-on-one. So you don't want to miss it. Go to Eventbrite once again, put in Refuel Coaching Conference, and purchase your tickets today. Well, I think we have the commercial, and Pastor Starks is going to play that commercial for us right now. Make sure the volume is, I think the volume should be on. We need the volume.
To present to you our first major event of the year, Dare to Dream. We're coming to you alive and hard and excited, full of passion. We want you to join us in the city of Riverside at the Live Church. We'll be here for 2 days, June 17th and 18th. We're going to have great coaches teaching you, empowering you, and helping you to realize the purpose in your life. We're going to have a great speaker here. Our special guest, Miss Bernadette Stanis, Thelma on Good Time. She'll be here in person, so you don't want to miss this great event.
Yes, guys, on this event, it's going to be exciting. We're going to have awesome speakers, lunch with special guest speaker. Also, we're going to have continental breakfast. You can't beat that. Come on out, get your ticket. This has been a rough year for us all. Come out, be inspired, hear from these phenomenal speakers from Dare to Dream. Don't miss this conference. You will if you can.
You did absolutely well. We want you to go to Eventbrite and put in the Dare to Dream and Refuel Coaching Conference, and they will come up, purchase your ticket today. I want to let you know that we have limited seating, so you want to purchase your ticket today. And if you can't be here somewhere in the world, you can join us virtually. So once again, we look to see you there, here, June 17th and 18th. Come and join us. Buy those tickets today.
See you there.
All right. Well, listen, we want to thank you all for joining us. Give us some final thoughts and final words, Pastor Starks and Command Sergeant Major. Give us your final thoughts for today, and then I will close us out.
Well, my final thoughts is that Psalms 127 says, unless the Lord build a house, he that labors in vain. So let the Lord build your house.
Sergeant Major.
I would only say that this is an opportunity to expand your horizons in terms of growth. So take advantage of it. Any opportunity where you can grow, take advantage of it. Dare to Dream is going to provide a level of growth that is invaluable. It's not about money. It's about empowerment. So this is an opportunity to get empowered, okay? So you can do either professional or personal or professional growth, all right? Spiritual growth, okay? This brother and sisterhood, like I said, is invaluable. Take advantage of it.
Fantastic. Well said. We want to give a shout out to Dr. Kelvin Gross, who couldn't make it today, and Coach Ron. We love you guys. Listen, come join us next week. Purchase those tickets today. Listen, have a wonderful rest of the week. Take your spouse. Go out and do something fun. Listen, enjoy your day. God bless you. And we love you. We'll see you next Wednesday, same time, same channel. God bless you and take care.